The Nissan R34 Gtr is the JDM legend that everyone knows. However, not all of them are real. Let me explain. The Nissan Skyline R34 Gtr came to the markets in 1998, with the most notable version being the GTR. Also known as Godzilla, it got a lot of fame from racing, but also from the Fast and Furious franchise, where it was Brian O'Connor's first pick. However, the GTR had a secret sibling called the GTT, which not everyone knows about. Rocking the same inline six with only a few major differences. This was that it had hydraulic lifters and not solid lifters, a 5-speed instead of a 6-speed gearbox, and had different brakes and slightly different bodywork. Yet the GTT still has a very similar sound. Sounds very similar and is almost as good as the GTR engine, being able to handle around 700 horsepower. Once the few began to notice this, they decided to start buying GTTs and changing them over to GTRs through some body kits. This has resulted in many R34 GTRs these days not actually being real, since instead you can get an R34 GTR for about a third of the price. Now this begs the question, is it right to do this? Many people seem to both despise and applaud doing this. Some people have been saying that they agree with it, but they think people shouldn't be putting GTR badges on it. Now, I personally don't blame people for doing this, because the JDM car market right now is so overpriced, and it will probably stay like that for the foreseeable future. I think people should be able to do whatever they want with their cars and modify them in any way that they want without anyone complaining, so I think it's okay. I also think that it's a good way to save money, as the engines are essentially the same. They're both twin-turbo inline sixes, it's just the lifters are slightly different. And if you really don't like it that much, you could always just change it out for a real RB26 instead of an RB25. Some people also say that they prefer a 5-speed gearbox to a 6-speed gearbox for drifting, so maybe if that's your thing, then yeah. Now, I would say that it's worth it because you can get the kind of like the clout and like the appearance on the road. You know, people go, oh look, that's an R34 GTR. Just don't pop the hood if anyone asks you to. That's what I do. I mean, especially if you intend on modifying it, I actually think it might be a better buy to buy one of these cheaper models because you're modifying it anyway, and I mean, it's more or less the same thing, and the body panels, you know, you might want to change those, or the engine, you might want to change that, or the transmission, you might want to change that. Like, I really don't blame you if you buy that, because it is so much cheaper, and especially when you're modifying it anyway, then you're getting a pretty good bang for your buck. This is actually a general trend in the car market too though, as movie cars always tend to be overpriced. Like the DeLorean is pretty expensive even though it's not that good. The 1969 Charger is also pretty expensive because it's from Fast and Furious and the Dukes of Hazzard, and it's not really like, well, it doesn't deserve to be that expensive because it's that old. In addition, white Ferrari Testarossas in particular are also very expensive because of Miami bikes. I believe this is a common trend because these movies and TV shows are what got people into cars, and these specific cars almost raise them in a way. That's why they want to own them. All of this means that you can get an R34 GTR for less than 40k, which is pretty good if you ask me, because it's about a third of the price of the original nowadays. Which is pretty good if you ask me, considering the price of the original. And if you really care about what other people think, I'm pretty sure if you're driving these, no one's going to really notice on the road the difference. They'll just look at it and go, wow, that's nice. That's it. No one's going to notice. I mean, don't forget, these cars are still race cars. You can build them out to be as beastly as you want them to be, or as comfortable as you want them to be. You can do whatever you want with them. Just quickly, I'm about to get my first car soon, so let me know what you think I should get in the comments. If you're here, that means you made it through the whole video, which helps me a lot, so thank you. And I guess, comment down below what your dream car is, and maybe we can discuss it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.